he's already been pretty cowed by Roderick, so it's like I was calling nobody, just my good friend.
Is that piece of paper around?
Um,
By the phone.
you are you asking him or
No,
are
no,
you
I'm looking around.
Yeah, go ahead and make an investigate roll. Man, I am rolling terribly here. Uh, yeah, he had it balled up in his hand, but there's a little bit sticking out, like he might have been a little bit overconfident that he was that he would be able to keep it concealed from you so easily.
Okay, Constantine taps his closed fist and holds up the palm of his own hand.
He's like, he holds up his other hand. There's nothing in it.
Yeah. Okay. I repeat that action and I look meaningfully at Roderick's knife and back to the guy.
I'm gonna play bad cop, and I'm gonna put the knife closer. Anytime he doesn't cooperate.
All right, so okay, so that is a provoke roll then from you, Roderick.
That's terrible.
So, oh my
Turns out it's a
god!
butter knife.
So you're like you're very bad at this. So like you're just not used to it. So you're getting your hands like all shaking, and here's my roll by the way. He kind of stumbles.
You rolled -4?
No, I rolled a
Yes.
Wow.
You rolled -4.
He so you're shaking, he's shaking, and then between your shaking, like he actually actually hits the edge of the knife a little bit with his against his throat, to where he actually starts bleeding a bit. It's not like it's not gushing blood or anything, but he's just like and he like throws the thing against the wall to try to get the piece of paper as far away from it as possible. And you notice that he wet himself.
Nice.
Wow, we're really making friends here.
I haven't killed him yet. That's a good point.
Okay, Constantine says again, Roderick, please put that knife away. I think he's sufficiently scared.
All right, I'll lower the knife then away from him so I don't stab him again.
Okay, and Constantine tries to play good cop, and he tells the panicking innkeeper to calm down. This is not... We're going to sort this out. You don't have to worry. We're not going to hurt you anymore. So calm down.
All right.
We'll work it out.
Okay, more rapport then. Okay. So yeah, he's like, do not kill my family and or shoot me. I was calling the resistance. They will be here shortly, and you will be able to contact your Nazi friends to kill them all. Just save me, please.
Okay, I think you're laboring under a misconception here. We are not with the Nazis. I can't stress this enough. We are not Nazis, so calm down and tell me exactly who you called.
So you're trying to change the tactic around. Go ahead and make another rapport roll.
Oh crap.
Oh, hey,
Pavel will be very disappointed.
He looks at you, and you can tell kind of internally he's kind of going with his gut reaction, which is you are in fact Nazis. You are speaking German to him after all. He's like, Mein Herr, I love the Führer. Please, just save my family.
Speaking American just a minute ago.
My American fan.
He was saying,
I think this guy is really confused and scared.
Well, okay, but he was speaking American. I want to make clear he's speaking like the American that he learned from watching Disney movies and that kind of thing.
American.
Like, Roderick. Okay,
yeah,
right.
I speak English.
But there were some Nazis who came from the U.S., as we all know, because we watched
So
Band
since
of Brothers.
Well, yeah, Lucky Lindbergh was a Nazi sympathizer, so there
so
you
since
go.
he says he's going to contact the resistance, I'm going to put the knife right away, kind of thing, tuck it away in my cloak or whatever. And
Well, he did say it in German, so
oh,
I mean,
I wouldn't understand.
it could be,
Constantine probably explained it
unless
to Roderick, I
Yeah.
imagine.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
unless Constantine is translating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair
Okay.
enough.
Okay. So I could, if I put the knife away, would that establish some rapport with him as well? Say I'm going to spare your family.
I mean, yeah, you can. Yeah, sure. You put the knife away.
This
So-
I don't know how
He
resistance guys
looks.
trusted. He broke very quickly.
Constantine's a very good liar, and he's overpowered. So in the meantime, you see the little boy comes running back in by himself, saying, he says, "Where is my father? Wo ist mein Herr?" And actually, Brian would understand that, so because he does speak the Pennsylvania Dutch German.
I just have to pop to the loo real quick.
Okay, yeah, we got the other group. So yeah, that's Lazar and Killian. You guys see the kid coming in without cousin Pavel, by the way. He runs in out of breath.
It was a short trip.
Okay. So the boy suddenly speaks German? Or
A
is
few
he
minutes.
still not German speaking?
Well, he didn't speak German to you before. That doesn't mean that he couldn't.
Oh, I see. So maybe Killian could talk to him then.
In German, back to him. Where's Pavel?
He was not in there. Where is father?
He's busy in the back. Just stay here a second. You're saying Pavel wasn't at the house?
Yeah. So okay. So you're saying just stay here. It's like, no, I must go find father now.
All right. No, I'm going to restrain the kid for a second. I'm going to grab his arm. Not too forcefully, just forcefully enough to hold him and say, no, stay here, and be, forceful about it.
All right, that's an intimidation roll. So go ahead and make your provoke roll.
Wow. We're really good at this.
It's like, this is the advantage of not having a tough guy in your group. I mean, I guess Lazar is kind of, but not really. You don't have people who are like really good at intimidation.
Well,
Yeah,
the
he's
fires,
so yeah. So you stopped him from going back, but he's like he makes a little cries out a little bit, and suddenly like the entire pub just goes silent.
All right.
There's a farmer like back in the background who like is looking at you sternly, like, "What are you doing with that child?"
I'm not taking him to his father.
What was that?
Take him to his father.
Okay, so you're
Yeah,
telling
that's
him,
what I say. Yeah.
"We'll take you to your father." Oh man. Okay, yeah. Go ahead and make a. You're trying to be friendly with him, so make a rapport roll on that.
Matthias, your mic is again breathing.
Yeah, it's
Sorry. Is that better?
yes, much better. Okay, so yeah, go and make a rapport roll. Okay, you did. Oh my god. So it's like this whole thing is. By the way, here's my roll.
What was it? -3?
Yes, this whole thing is happening like in slow motion. He he hears you say that you're about to that you're going to take him to your father, and yeah, but go and make an empathy roll just so to make sure that I can explain this to you in full, because I don't know how much of it I can describe. Yeah, that's good enough. You can see, like, you just, running through his face that he interpreted that to mean, I killed your dad already, and now I'm going to take you to him in his grave. He's like, no, please, do not take me to my father.
Try again to calm him down. No, everything's fine. Everything's fine. He's right back here. I'll take you right to him.
In the meantime,
Do we hear the
that
commotion?
farmer. At the moment, like the guy in the back is bawling kind of hard. You can how is your survival? Because that would be the notice in this case. Both Morvis and Louis won. Okay, yeah. So not really high enough to necessarily notice that stuff has gone down. Although you're gonna notice this in a second. The farmer guy who is looking at you sternly starts pointing at you and shouts something at you in Czech. You would have, if you had to guess by the arms and the arms, the body language. It's probably something like, "Get your hands off that boy, you
Damn
dirty Nazi bastard."
Damn dirty ape.
And we do hear, Roderick and I do hear this, do we? They're shouting in the other
Yeah,
room.
I mean, like you hadn't noticed, but it got really, really quiet all of a sudden. But then you do notice the shouting.
Okay.
Muffled shouting in Czech.
Constantine turns to the innkeeper and he says, pull yourself together, go out there, tell them that everything is fine, and I will tell the Sicherheitsdienst that you and your family are to be spared.
Okay, that's a deceive roll. I just get this idea that, like, internally, like, Constantine Toon's like, why do I even bother just dealing with people levelly? Why don't I just lie all the time?
If I had to kind of re-roll this character, I would probably, like, put another kind of rapport skill more up there.
The guy just is like, what?
My roll
Okay, what? Whatever you say, sir. I don't understand. Okay.
Tell them.
So
He reiterates. Tell them that everything is fine.
Just a misunderstanding.
So he walks out.
Covered in blood.
Well, yeah, he does have a small knife wound bleeding out of his neck.
Everything is fine.
He's urinated himself.
Himself shaving and
And-
himself.
In the process.
He walks out and says in
He
Czech,
looks like he's
everything
been
is.
crying.
His eyes are red.
I don't see Lazar coming up with any better ideas right now.
Oh my god! But this is his role to do that.
What?
To calm everyone down.
-4, +4.
Oh, that's nice. See?
He's like, he comes out and
People just go, oh, that's all right then. Oh, by the way, you've pissed yourself again.
it's like, everything is fine. I've just got a little tipsy. Everybody looks at him like, oh. And then the boy runs, gets himself out of your clutches, Brian, runs and hugs his dad.
Smelling
Father!
urine.
Yeah, tearfully saying something in Czech. You hear, Budweiser, Michelob!
Oh my goodness.
Michelob all over your pants!
Follow that up with, you see, I told everyone, I told the boy the father is fine.
I told you he'd be fine. Okay. Go make a rapport roll.
Or,
Oh, dear God.
I know you did this before. What's the difference between rapport and deceive?
You have to lie to deceive.
And rapport is you're telling the truth.
That was what we just went through there with Constantine, where he was trying to butter up the dude and be nice with him, and then finally says, "Okay, fine. You know what? I'm a Nazi. You're right. Okay, do this and I won't kill you.
Exactly.
You know, I should be able
Um,
to understand Czech a little bit. It's a Slavic language, I think. Like I mean, honestly, I sort of understand Polish a little bit. So
Okay.
Czech might be. I just don't know anybody Czech to really.
Yeah, I worked with a guy who was Czech way back when, but I can't help you with
I
that.
might have a very little bit of Polish also, but I wouldn't speak it probably.
Right. I mean, it's like I said, the worst. Everybody knows German, or at least they should. So okay, so you said, see, I told you he'd be fine. The boy just gives you this look like you are the largest jerk in the world, and when I'm grown up,
I'm gonna piss on your.
I will have you killed myself.
Okay, and Constantine goes to the door and he says, "Okay, we still have some things to discuss," to the innkeeper, and beckons him back inside the room, and he also beckons Lazar and Killian.
All right. Yeah, everybody else goes back to.
Yeah, I think
Goes
I'd
back
be
to,
able to
to
understand
drinking.
very simple like Czech phrases and words.
All right. Yeah, I mean they're speaking conversational Czech, so you might be able to catch a couple of things, out of the road. In fact, yeah, so they pull him in the back. The bartender says something to the boy. You catch the words "strong drink," and immediately.
Oh,
And yeah, the kid runs out to the front to get something, whatever that might be.
I see they've met Lazar before. Okay, so
So yeah.
maybe Lazar pulls
Okay,
out
go
his
ahead.
flask that he always carries with him, and offers the guy a drink.
Okay, so
here, drink this Nazi potion.
yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. He's looking at you like.
I'll speak Russian to him. I mean, there's no way that he'd think I'm Nazi if I speak Russian. I don't think.
He's looking at you like just extremely confused. Eventually, like after some struggle, he takes the drink and puts it in his mouth, expecting it's going to be poisoned.
I'll say something to the effect of vodka, good. In Russian.
Is good vodka.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like crying again.
The wussiest bartender.
Is good.
How does he normally deal with like rowdy drunks? Does he weep at them?
I also point to Roderick and say, "Rude American, rude American."
I hope you're saying that in Russian.
You notice like
it's in Russian,
his
of course.
wife is like this big, strong, like Brunhilde type woman. He's a little bit on the smaller side.
So the woman
He's
does all the
cowed
bar
easily.
bouncing.
Right. Perhaps.
With her enormous boobs.
So yeah, the boy comes in with a tray full of beers. It's like I bring you my finest German stock. None of that Czechoslovakian piss.
Okay. Well, Constantine just kind of sits the bartender down just to calm the situation down a bit. Offers him a chair.
Wipes away the blood.
Like, right? He's wiping with the blood. The guy's like, "Ooh."
Give him a bar run.
Like, so I am supposing that I must tell you the secret password so that you may shoot my friends in the backs now.
Yes, please.
Remember, you gave me your word.
Yes, your family will not be harmed.
Now that is the truth. So I think that's just for no. I'm just kidding. You're playing along with his lie. So all right, yeah, you've already made the roll to do this. So yeah, it's like Yes, the secret word is pomegranate.
That's very exotic for Slavic Europe circa 1940, but all right.
It's- one of our compatriots took a summer trip to Greece. What could I say?
Okay, Constantine explains to the others that the resistance is going to be showing up any minute. And one of the pertinent questions as well is, did the boy actually find Pavel?
Apparently not.
Right. Yeah. So the boy is sitting there. You ask the dad if he finds Pavel. The father asks him something in Czechoslovakian. The boy says Lazar understands. He says something. He says no. You heard that correctly. Um, Something about a friend and something about the resistance.
Okay,
And the father says, "I am sorry, but he could not find him. Perhaps he has left town completely."
and does Lazar communicate what the guy said, what he overheard? Like
Yeah,
the
I'll
fact
say
the
that
resistance-
that's
Yeah.
not it. He didn't say everything.
What was that the boy said about the resistance?
Yeah.
You're
I'm
asking
asking the
the
bartender.
okay. He said nothing. I swear I don't know anything more. Please torture me all you want, but leave my family
I have
alone.
to bring the knife in again.
No, we're bringing vodka.
Now, Constantine says the boy said something about the resistance, and if this deal that we've made is to be upheld, then you are to be truthful with us completely.
There's a
Right.
glass there. Probably. I'll pour him another shot.
All right, go and make an empathy roll, Louis.
It's not great on the empathy,
Like,
Constantine.
yeah, you are. Yes, you do have a point. Yes, that man that you sought, you are correct. He was in the resistance, but he left just yesterday and said that he was going to go to Moldavia. I do not expect that he'll be back for several months. I'm sorry, sir.
Okay, well, we're here now. The resistance, that they can show up at any time. They're not that likely to go loud straight away because there's a bunch of Germans milling about nearby. So they won't come in shooting or anything.
Can we
But
ask the bartender who's coming? How many? With what purpose?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I just called for a detachment for help. You have to understand, we're a very small group. There's only
Is he part of the
5 or 6 of
resistance?
us at the
This
most.
guy is part of the resistance.
What reason did you give them?
This hardy fellow.
I told him the truth that I did not know that you were such a kind person. You have to understand that last time the Nazis came in here, they killed half my family.
Exactly what did you tell them? What reason did you give them? Why were you summoning them?
I might have told them that there were Nazi secret agents harassing us and perhaps to be on the lookout for you guys.
Crap.
But I guess it's all for naught because you were looking for a man who's already left town, right? Right? That means you can leave, right?
Not quite yet.
Now, going back to our dossier or whatever that was handed to us, we were supposed to establish contact with the resistance. Was there some way that we would be able to confirm our identities as British agents?
Well, you tell me.
I would imagine that there would be some kind of a password and, whatever it's called, response pairing.
Secret handshake.
Not exactly, but like, the oranges are particularly good this time of year, aren't they? And then they say yes, and the geese are exceptional.
The rain in Spain falls
Right.
mainly on.
That
Yes.
yeah, that sounds good. Actually, yeah, I think that you would have a the government in exile has told you, like, maybe an older um, uh, code, but it's something that
All
you can
right.
try.
And so the bartender, did he tell us how many people are actually coming?
Um, yeah, he had just mentioned that he's saying is that he had told you that they're
He informed them that
uh,
we're not Nazis, right?
he informed
That
them
we
that
were.
you are a group of Nazis that are dressed up like Czech laborers who are secretly trying to do stuff. He's yeah, that's all he's saying. Actually, go ahead and make an empathy roll really quick.
Lazar?
Actually, well, yeah, I mean you're able to read what he's saying even if you can't understand what it is that he's saying, except for bits and pieces. So yeah, Lazar,
Oh boy.
since you're asking.
So I do have body language reader as my stunt,
Oh, that's good. So there
so
you
I can
go.
use
So
survival.
right.
Oh,
Awesome.
for fuck's sake.
Wow.
Impressive.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to use a fate point somewhere to influence that, you certainly can.
Seems like a waste.
Yeah, I don't think I want to do that.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's what he said. Seems legit.
So basically, the situation is there are some resistance members coming, thinking that this guy, the member, like, presumably they would be thinking this guy knows stuff. If he falls into the Nazi hands, he could be trouble.
Right. Well,
So they'd be coming
the
in.
information that the information the guy told you is that they didn't actually send anybody, that they're just on alert
For us.
looking for you. So they didn't necessarily send anybody, and also that cousin Pavel was left and gone away.
What number did you ring? Constantine asks the bartender, moving over to the phone.
Can you call him back?
I called Pennsylvania 65000. He starts singing Pennsylvania 65000 in an effort to get no. That's not what he's doing.
At this stage in history?
No, you
What was
go
that?
through the operator.
Yeah, you can call the operator and ask them. Although, well, I'll let you do that.
I think we
if you
should
want
get
to.
that from the bartender and try to call him back.
Please, sir. If I tell you that information, then your advantage will be lost. You won't know. They will know that you know what the number is, and that shall be it.
Yeah, no, give me the fucking number now.
Yeah, all right. Some more provoke.
Okay, I can use deceive in place of provoke to make mental attacks as long as I make up a clever lie. Okay, Constantine says, do it now or this deal is null and void and the Sicherheitsdienst will torture you until you're just a puddle of wet flesh.
You can imagine you're like, start going into like great detail about, just last week I met a person like you who was acting ornery like you
There are
are.
very interesting things that you can do with a car battery and a set of balls.
All right. Yeah, so go ahead and make your roll.
Lazar flashes back to the time in prison.
Yeah. So you don't need to make that. He says, yeah, so he gives up the number like it was a like it was a number. I pretend that I made up a cool metaphor for that. Yeah, he gives you the number immediately. There's no question.
Okay, Constantine rings the number in question or asks the operator to connect him to said number.
All right. Yeah. So you call. Somebody answers in Czech.
Okay, Constantine uses the phrase that we were given by the Czech government official.
All right. Yeah. The line goes dead.
Okay, they've hung up.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that didn't quite pan out the way I had envisioned.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, the Czech government's been out for like 2 years and haven't really been in contact with the resistance. So,
Okay. Well, it looks like this expedition is a bit of a wash. Pavel isn't here. The resistance think that we're Nazis.
The Nazis think we're resistance.
And we're all covered in urine and blood.
well, only one person.
And there are still 5 German soldiers quite close by, so...
We seem to be having a very difficult time with what would seemingly be an easy situation.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, there's some. I mean, meeting with the resistance is never easy, but I mean that's part of the
charm.
Yeah, it's part of why they're the resistance and not the people who got caught 6 months ago.
This guy should have been caught like 5 minutes after he joined.
He's not one of the finer members of the resistance, that's for sure. So at that point, you hear like a rhythmic knocking on the door, like.
Well, that sounds like it's going to be someone from the resistance. Is it which door? Is it like a back door, or is it the door from the tap room?
Yeah, it's going to be the not the door to the main hall, but yeah, the door, outside door, a door leading outside.
Back door.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
You're knocking on the back door, something that Artem and Louis have far too much experience with.
In Turkish.
I mean, Lazar and Constantine, sorry.
We should try to make ourselves as non-threatening as possible. Maybe raise our hands or something like that, and I imagine.
Yeah, Constantine actually suggests that maybe it's a good idea if we're not here in force. So maybe if the rest of you go back to the tap room for a moment, we can have this resistance person come in, and there will be just one stranger as opposed to 4 of them.
Yeah, you guys, you got to act fairly quickly. The guy.
Yeah, and I think if
knocks
something
second time.
were to, I mean, we should.
Constantine says we leave. We could just get out of that room and let Constantine deal with it.
All right, fine.
Fine. I'm out.
Yeah.
Okay. So is everybody out except for Constantine,
Yes.
or is that?
Okay, and Constantine tells the barkeeper to open up and act normal.
Oh boy.
Without pissing herself
Right.
again.
Yeah. So he comes out as he walks out. As you guys walk out, you see there's 3 other fairly nondescript looking guys. Actually, go and make Lazar. You got the highest survival. What is your
My
survival?
survival is good.
2?
No, good is 3.
3. Okay, sorry. Whatever. So you notice this straight out.
I think we're supposed to only say descriptions and not numbers.
When you talk to me, you can say +3. That's fine. If you
Look at how good it is.
I only
Look.
okay.
See how good it is? Are you impressed?
That's great. So
Swiss
it's
style.
very impressive. So,
Yeah.
That's
So yeah, I was just asking because if you'll remember, if you have a 3 or higher in a skill, you can notice things automatically. And so yeah, you in turn notice pretty automatically. There are 3 guys up at the front of the pub, another guy at the bar, and they all appear to be obviously carrying something under their coats. And the guys in front of the door are actually appear to be in the process of locking it shut.
they're Nazis.
I think Lazar is not that young.
So meanwhile, in the back room, he opens the door. The bartender opens the door and then immediately falls at the guy's feet and says, "I'm sorry. Please forgive me."
That's acting natural.
Right. He says that in Czech, but the language of apology is pretty universal. Teether knows that because he's Canadian.
Okay, Constantine.
You can.
And Morvis as
Sorry.
well. Morvis is also
Constantine.
Canadian.
Constantine moves, so he can be seen from the door opener, and he makes sure to keep both his hands in sight to show that he's not armed.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the other guy pulls out a Czechoslovakian pistol and says, "You have 3 seconds to
That is what I would.
to convince me not to shoot you."
Okay, that's not that
In-
hard.
in-
There are 5 German soldiers located not 50 meters from here. If you pull that trigger, they're going to be all over us. So let's talk first.
An excellent point. He reaches into his pocket, pulls out a silencer, and starts spinning it onto his gun.
Okay, Constantine says, you really may want to hear what I have to say, and he tries that phrase again.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead and make a report roll.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, how before I shoot you, I must know how long have you been aware of this particular code word, and who did you get it from? Did our leaders in London forsake us again?
No, I am British, Constantine says. I am a member of Her Majesty's Secret Service, which is not true.
Right.
And I have been sent here from London to meet up with you, but we seem to have run into a few problems. So I would prefer it if we could put the weapons away for now and just have a talk first. If you decide to shoot me, you can always do so later.
You turn on your like most posh
British yeah.
accent to do it, right? So go ahead and make a deceive roll.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Oh my god.
Let's see. No, I'm not quite pleased with that. Okay, Constantine. You know, this is infiltration at its kind of the sharp edge of infiltration, and he is a mercenary infiltrator. That's what he does. So I would like to play a fake card to boost that.
Reroll.
All right. Well, no. -2 is right on the threshold. You could re-roll it if you wanted to, but you're just as good off just taking the +2. Although, so with that, you are still going to lose by a point.
Okay.
You got a 5.
So maybe re-roll.
Yeah. Yeah, I might as well. Yeah, I'll re-roll.
Okay.
That's not that much better.
That's actually you actually lost a point from that. So,
why?
Are you going to play it as a laze? Or you're going to do anything else?
Let's see. What would be the wise thing to do? I don't think I have that. I can't imagine which other aspects I can invoke.
I think I can invoke something.
Well, you're in another room,
I
sir.
know, but there is something that I would do independently of what's happening in the room, I think. Because of my secretive underworld ties, I may recognize one of the resistance members.
Right. Well, we can. Yeah, I'll move to you guys as soon as we resolve this roll. So no worries.
Let's see. Okay, yeah. So Constantine immediately notices that what he just said isn't landing that well. Like in a split second, he kind of sees by a slight widening of the guy's eyes that it's not playing that well. So he decides to. With his long experience being from a long line of spies, he knows how to keep his cool in a situation like that, and he decides to kind of de-escalate a bit. So he actually very calmly just pulls up a chair and sits down like nothing's happening. like completely.
Right. So yeah, you're in there. Yes, I am. You lie, tell him, yeah, I am from MI6. He's like, oh, really? You're from MI6. So yeah, go ahead and spend your fate point then. That, by the way, ties you.
Yeah, that's as far as I'm going to get now, I think.
So yeah, so he's like, so you're from MI6 then. So I suppose then you can tell me who you're the CEO in charge of the liaisons of the Czech Resistance is. Then you're like, I'm afraid I can't tell you that, and I think you know why. You sit down calmly. Internally you're like, oh, geez, he's totally gonna catch me out, but externally you project this calmness, and so oh, that's right. Trying to think of how I can. So we have to. So that means you get what you want, but with a minor thing. He's like, it is too bad you're not with the Dutch resistance, because if only you were Dutch, all this would make a whole lot more sense.
Okay, that's out of left field. If only you
It's like
were
a big
with
twist.
the Dutch resistance. Yeah, how does he, like, I mean, I'm not quite sure how to take that. Is it like a kind of to catch me out, or?
Well, you have to figure it out. Given the information you've got to figure out how Constantine would react to that information.
Right.
Yeah.
In the meantime, though,
No,
let's go back over
sorry,
to.
but the thing is that I'm not, asking what I should do next, but how is this delivered? Oh, it's a pity that you're not with the Dutch resistance. It's a weird thing to suddenly hear.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to introduce a twist into the things, because that's what the cards indicated, and that seems like that would be a good minor thing. So I will let you think about how perhaps that was delivered exactly, and then you can tell me when we come back to you. So okay, the rest of you. So yeah, there's guys locking the doors. The guy at the bar says, "I believe that your friend is otherwise indisposed. Perhaps you should sit down next to us. The three of you should sit down next to us and have a nice drink, or it will be your last."
So yeah, let's do
Yeah,
that.
sure.
Sit down, have a drink.
Always up for
the other guys, like, they pull out a submachine guns. They're putting silencers on the submachine guns.
They're very well equipped,
Like
the Czech resistance at this point in it.
Yeah, they've got it's German armament that it looks like they probably they may not know this, but it's stolen from the Nazis at some point in time. And the silencers are, they're, well, actually, who out here would know? Nobody's got soldier skills.
I've got
A +1.
They just look like silencers. Yeah. So yeah, they've got something stuck on the end of their guns to make the bullets not travel at the speed of sound. Break the sound barrier, whatever. Yeah, they do that. So Lazar, you said that you were going to do something?
Well, what I was thinking is that my secretive underworld ties might allow me to recognize one of the guys as
Okay.
somebody.
That is a fate point. So go ahead and spend the fate point.
All right. So yeah, I recognize him, and I tell him some I started talking to him about some caper that I know that he pulled not too long ago, and that we know some people in common. Perhaps.
All right.
Perhaps he may have heard of me.
You're like, Bronislav, is that you?
No.
That's his name, Bronislav.
Oh, that's his name? Okay.
I looked it up. Yes, that is his name. Just
Baroni.
so we could get away from, yeah. we can get away from trying to remember baseball players' names and hockey
I'll
players'
call
names.
him Baroni.
Bratislav. So you're like, yeah.
Wait.
Lazar, he starts speaking to you in broken Ukrainian. Why are you with the Nazis? Is the pay must be very good.
Well, I explained to him that I'm not at all with the Nazis, and I'm that it would be quite well, yeah, that I have no taste for what they have to offer.
All right, yeah, go make a rapport roll.
Okay.
I think it's not going to be opposed because I think they're not in a place where they actively want to oppose it. Oh, yikes, that's not good. So yeah, you got to hit a 1. It's unopposed, but you're still going to fail that. By the way, since this is unopposed, Roderick or Killian, you guys can spend fate points too.
So this is which part of it is he's not. I'm assuming he's not believing what I'm saying, right?
Right. I mean, you're failing the roll. I will figure out how exactly you fail
And
it if
I
you
just
decide to
want
let
to
it
make
stay
sure
where it is.
that because Lazar would be explaining to him that he's actually working with the British government.
Right. And so, basically a failure means you either don't succeed in what you're trying to do or else you do succeed but at a major cost. And I think probably it's going to be the latter. You do succeed at a major cost.
So I want...
Again, though, anybody wants to spend a fate point, they are welcome to do so in this case.
How does that work? We just step into the conversation or do something else?
Yeah, I mean, or you
I'm with
can...
two Americans. I mean, the odds are, as
Right.
soon as they start speaking, we should be able to break the...
That's a good point. I mean, just saying something in American you could spend a fate point and invoke your high concept, for example, and say Mickey Mouse. I love Mickey Mouse.
My accent confuses everybody anyway. It's probably best I keep quiet.
Okay, so that's up to me. So I have to step in and actually, it might be
Clark Gable.
No.
Gone with the Wind.
Roderick just goes, y'all got any moonshine up in here?
Oh, I can totally flat out lie because I have con artist in my Han concept and just say I did time with Lazar as well.
Well, they're talking Ukrainian, so that's the tricky part is trying to figure out how to invoke one of your aspects without speaking.
Say if they want to see a trick.
Hey guys,
Show them a card trick.
That could be if you want to do. Sure, I mean it's if that's. I mean that would work if you want to do that. You pull out a deck of cards and start.
But is it not?
Okay.
Are you not overthinking this because your high concept is American stage magician? So
Yeah.
if you just invoke
Exactly.
that and say something American,
Step right up.
Right. Yeah. So go ahead and spend your fate point, Roderick. I think that works. Just there you go. Okay, so you just come in and start.
Hey, would you like to see a trick?
Yeah, you start shuffling. You're dealing cards out. And you're like,
Oh, since we sat down, yeah,
You-
you just
you-
start dealing out cards.
The cards all have like Disney
Yeah, so you
figures on them.
you're like pick a card, pick a card. They're like like while they're talking, you're just showing the cards, and you don't speak the language, but just using the international language of magic.
Nice.
you have them pick a card, and they're like, you pick the right card, and they're like, oh,
Is that your card?
and everybody's clapping,
They'll put money on
Wow.
and
They all put their submachine guns down to clap.
oh, just say something in Czech. You just make out like something in Czech, something along the lines of, they must not be Nazis because Nazis don't play card tricks.
Excellent. Good. That's all we needed.
Germans have no sense of humor or wonder.
Okay, so at this point, I think we've passed this. They believe us.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll go back to Constantine. He just mentioned in passing the Dutch resistance.
Hmm. Okay. The Dutch resistance. Does Constantine, because he has been in the Netherlands since the Germans invaded, hasn't he? I mean, I don't know exactly
Right.
the starting point, but
Did they already?
Yeah, I mean we started just a couple months ago. So yeah, the Netherlands had already been taken over. You guys are. I mean, I don't think we'd established that your. I know your dad isn't working with the Dutch resistance. We know that, but we never established whether or not you had ties with them or not or
well,
whatever.
I mean,
You are Dutch,
the
and
circles that Constantine moves in, he's bound to, and he's not overly fond of the Germans. I mean, evidenced by the fact that he spent quite some time infiltrating the SS to destabilize it. But so he's bound to know people in the Dutch resistance, like high up in the Dutch resistance, because that's just his world. Is my reasoning. So what he would do is he would just rattle off a couple of names and goes, well, he sticks with the lie, and he says, I'm with the British Secret Service, but I have been liaisoning with the Dutch resistance, and he just names a couple of names of people high up in the Dutch resistance movement.
all right. So since we're changing the scope, you can go ahead and make another deceive roll.
Ah, finally.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, so you start just rattling off names of people who are probably in the Dutch resistance, and he's like, "Oh, so perhaps you do know the Dutch resistance then?
Yes, I know them quite
That
well.
sounds very. What is the Dutch word for homely and happy?
No,
Is it
no.
head and hacks?" Just kidding. I was
Happens
gonna
every
say
time.
gezellig. Tell me, how do you pronounce Van Gogh?
It just it's not really verbal. It's more kind of this kind of.
And this is where Constantine pulls out a knife and stabs him right in the heart.
Yeah, just 30 or 40 times.
Sorry, 1 second. Oh my god. Sorry. Damn it, man. This shitty chair that I'm sitting in, it just the little. Apparently, the molding isn't glued in well, and it just kind of started to come apart there. That would have been a nice little thing, seeing me falling on my ass in the middle of this. I'm sure you'd have been a fan of it.
The timing would have been great.
So you. All right, yeah. So it works. He's like he puts down his weapon momentarily. Okay, I shall let you live a little while longer, sir.
Hooray.
But please tell your people back in London that password is seriously out of date.
Yeah, there's a
That's what
slight
kill you
problem
tomorrow.
with those passwords, with the Czech government in exile not being here anymore. So yeah, I'm sure you'll understand that there are some operational difficulties. But London assures you that the English government is very much committed to the cause of the partisan movement, and I and my compatriots are here to aid you.
He's, you could take that. Yeah, he's hearing what you're saying and he's convinced, but at the same time, like he's rolling his eyes like 14 times over. Yeah, you're coming to help us. Sure, you are. Because you guys have done such a great job of that over the last 2 years. So he's like, well, let us go out. Let us go out and talk with our friends then.
All right, yeah, that sounds like a plan.
So yeah, so they walk out. Like Roderick's out there doing card tricks,
Playing cards.
like pulling cards out of guys' like pockets and going, "Is this your card?" They're like, "Oh, American Mickey Mouse!"
It's very easily impressed these resistance people.
At least I'm not stabbing him this time.
Yeah.
While all this is going on, I'm still kind of keeping an eye through the window on the Germans out in the square, just in case any movement occurs.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just. Yeah, so I mean, they're out there. You see, one of them is looking in your general direction, like with a like. Why there are an awful lot of people in that pub at 10 o'clock in the morning, but they don't seem to be moving your way or anything yet.
Copy that.
All right, so yeah, so in the meantime, yeah, he walks out. And he's like, "My men, these people have come from the English MI. What number military intelligence are you from again?"
MI6. That's what I
Oh,
told
yes,
him.
that's right. Okay, yeah. So the British have finally come to help us in this our time of need. Throw off the yoke of the Nazis. First Karlstein, then all of Czechoslovakia. Am I right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
The enthusiasm boils over.
It's just-
Actually, I imagine he says that in Czechoslovakian, and he's like slapping you on the back. You've got basically no idea what he's saying. Lazar is making out bits and pieces of it, just like he's promising them that you all are going to do this, and Lazar just is kind of looking up at you, going,
Okay, at this point, Constantine asked the guy if there's maybe a place that we can go that is a little more secure than this, pointing at the window and the Nazis that can be seen through said window.
he's like, "Oh, those idiots, pushaw. They're all the way out here. They've already torched half this place. They think they've killed off all of the resistance in the area."
Okay, well, maybe it's time for some introductions then. My name is Major Constantine.
Oh, that's not a very English-sounding name at all. What part of England are you from, sir?
I'm from Surrey, but my forebears were from Poland.
You don't look terribly Polish.
My
Aren't the Polish normally swarthier in complexion than yourself, sir?
Yeah, but not if they've been interbreeding with the English for 200 years.
Oh, you didn't say you'd been there for the last 200 years.
I don't sound very Polish, do I?
He doesn't look 200 years old either.
Oh, I'm a vampire.
No, that's magic. Yeah, basically, probably cards on the table time. We've been sent here to investigate the Nazi goings-on at the castle.
So, so you start talking to me about that in German. Instantly, you see the guy's face drops, just. I should have known you weren't here to actually help us.
Well,
British jerks.
From what we hear, what the Germans are doing at that castle, if we put a stop to that, that would be quite a big help to you.
Investigate and disrupt.
Yeah, and at the same time, we can help you with the centralizing effort that London has been undertaking to get your noses in line with the other resistance cells.
All right, so you're back to lying again? That sounds good. Make a deceive roll. No, that's a tie. So, all right, yeah,
Should I do more card tricks?
Yes, it's not that. Well, this is opposed, so you wouldn't be able to spend a fate point in his favor anyway. He says, "Well, yeah, I've heard what you people have to say before, but okay, we'll play along. What is it that you want?"
Well, right now we're mainly looking for some intelligence about the goings on in this area, and specifically about what's happening at the castle.
And any potential way we could perhaps infiltrate the castle or get closer and take a look ourselves.
Well, yeah, the castle's swarming with Nazis, so that is something that I could not help you with, not with all the people that we have out here. We've got 30 people in the resistance at the moment, which is not as big as we want it to be, but it would be bigger if we won a major victory in this area, he says, trying to convince you to rally to his cause.
Is there anything specific that you've been looking to accomplish that we might be able to help you with?